Up next, we've got Mohammad Yahya at plus 125 versus Trevor Peek, who I mentioned before, coming in from Alabama at minus 155. Peek is a Dana White Contender Series product. A lot of people know him pretty well for his electric fighting style, yet reckless fighting style, where he has a lot of unorthodox techniques and has a lot of power behind those unorthodox techniques. For me, what I find interesting here is a couple of things with I'm going to call him Mo Yahya because I think that's an even funnier way to say his name than Mohammad Yahya. So Mo Yahya is going to get a massive crowd reception because he is the only fighter on the card that's from the UAE. And Rick, there were open workouts coming up, and I saw the schedule. And they've got the 4 guys headlining, and they've got Mo Yahya doing an open workout for all the fans, which is absolutely hilarious. They got a guy on the prelims that's doing an open workout, but it just says like they're having the one local guy do it, which is pretty cool for the fans, I guess. It'll be interesting to see him interact with the Kamaru Usmans and Alexander Volkanovskis of the world, but that's neither here nor there. Trevor Peek, I really had high hopes for him in the UFC. I thought that maybe he would shapen up a bit his fighting style. And we look back to the Mariscal fight in June. He just looked gassed towards the end, man. He did not really show much technique at all whatsoever. And it just shows that the very odd way that he fights, it's going to see him get exposed here down the line, like he did in that fight. And there's going to be people who watch that tape and they're going to expose him in a similar fashion, or an even better fashion than how Mariscal did it. I find the line movement to be very interesting because Peek opened at plus 120. He was plus 105 for a day, and now he's all the way to minus 155. I don't know if this creeps up to minus 200. In fact, I would be shocked if it did. I think the line will probably settle around here. I think I'm going to fade it is what I'm going to do, and I feel pretty good about that, where I just think that this fight, even though Trevor Peek is reckless and so is Mo Yahya in some senses, where he's not super great with a striking defense, his opponent's records are pretty bad. This is a big jump in competition for him, even though he was a champion in this previous promotion. He does train with some really solid people. I mean, there's pictures of him where he's trained with Khamzat and Khabib before. That's nothing to scoff at. I think that there is going to be a lot going into him this fight, figuring out ways to win against Trevor Peek, more than Trevor Peek figuring out ways to beat Mo Yahya. I think Trevor Peek's going to fight his fight. He's not going to change what he does. Where Mo Yahya, I found him at plus 136 on DraftKings, so a bit better than the odds I read out. But I just feel like there's a good opportunity here. Was there anything I didn't cover that you wanted to cover with this one, and how do you see it from your perspective?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, and I think you said it well. But I think that the technique of Peek is something that he's never had. It's always been very unorthodox. Like, I mean, he's doing like clubs down. If you're watching the video, I mean, he'll like club down on opponents and really like overextend himself into strikes, but he's able to land them, which is odd. I mean, he's able to like get through the guard and typically hit a guy when doing it. And I mean, his power is unbelievable. So I think that he's
redneck strength.
Open. What?
He's got that redneck strength.
He does have that redneck strength. And I mean, Mo Yahya is, I mean, his striking defense isn't great either, but he's the same way on the other side. My concern with Yahya is his competition. I mean, he really hasn't faced anybody. I mean, and his losses were against the best people he's fought. Like Gavin Hughes was 9-1. He lost to him. Dan Collins was 3-0 and lost to him, got finished by him. And then he went on to beat 5-2, 1-0, 7-2, 7-4, 5-3. Like, he really hasn't faced anybody, and I think this is a huge level of step up for him. And Trevor Peek is sort of on a downswing right now after that Chepe loss, where that's his first loss. I think that he gets back on track and is able to take advantage of Yahya in the raucous crowd, and he'll be able to shut the lights out there. So the total here is 1.5. I wouldn't mess around with the total. I got in at Peek at minus 155 today. I'd rather get in before that continues to climb. So we're on opposite sides there. Is there anything else you want to add, or you good as well? Cool.
No, I'm good here for sure. I think that, like, to your point, the poor striking defense from Mo Yahya is going to be a concern. I just think with the home crowd backing him, as well as what is going to be a bit of a wild card fight, in my opinion, I'll go with the dog here at plus 136 on DraftKings for 3/4 of the unit. and hope for the best. So Rick and I are going opposite ways here. He's got Peek at -155. I've got Mohammad Yahya, aka Mo Yahya, at +136. Coming up next, we have the headlining prelim of Tim Elliott versus Muhammad Mokaev. So stay tuned, and we will jump right into that.